What is going on, guys? This is Sal from Let's Talk Video Games. Welcome back. So today we will indeed be talking about some video games. To be specific, 12 video games I've purchased recently, physically of course. I'm getting back into physical game collecting, but now I just want to collect the games that I love. So a lot of these are going to be very specific titles that I wanted to get in the collection or games that I actually wanted to play myself. So here we have the stack of video games I bought. As you can see, of course, some PlayStation 1 titles there. A long box PlayStation 1 title that I had to get. It wasn't too expensive, and I really have been wanting to get into collecting the long box PlayStation 1 titles with these 12 games here, where I will show you guys what exactly I bought and some gameplay for these games so that you guys could see if the game looks interesting enough. You guys could go out there and check it out yourselves. But yeah, let's get into this video of recent game pickups. First title we have here is the long box Jupiter Strike PlayStation 1 game. And can I just say, I love how these long box PlayStation 1 games look. I believe this is the only version of Jupiter Strike. I'm pretty sure you can't buy this in a normal jewel case, and I'm very excited to finally add this to the collection. Jupiter Strike I've never really heard of, but I love me my long boxes like I told you guys. And this was the first time I ever played this game, and I really enjoyed it. It's pretty good. It's a 3D rail shooter developed by Taito and published in the US by Acclaim. I really didn't even get a chance to experience this when it was released because I was born in 1995 and that's the release year for this game. So I would have been about maybe a month old or so. So you guys will have to forgive me for that. This game is 30 years old now. The same age as me. It's crazy. It looks pretty great. Not too bad. Of course, it's a PlayStation 1 title, so it's not all there on the graphics, if you know what I mean. And the gameplay was very fun. I had no problems whatsoever with the shooting mechanics of this game. Everything was very responsive, even though it's a PlayStation 1 game. I did not expect that at all. I was having a blast playing this game, which is so weird because no one ever talks about this game at all. I've never heard anyone ever mention this. Not your bigger YouTubers. Maybe they have, but I have not watched that video. No one talks about Jupiter Strike, and it's kind of a shame because I would have just slept on this insanely good shooter. Second game we have here is by Namco, Pac-Man World 20th Anniversary Edition. This is the greatest hits version of this game. How do you guys feel about collecting greatest hits versions of games? I really don't mind it, really. I think they look pretty great. They do look a bit uglier next to the normal versions of the games on your shelves, but it doesn't really matter. Pac-Man World was released in 1999. Let that sink in. The game is 21 years old. It's now able to drink alcohol. The game has 6 worlds that you can explore with various levels. So this game did end up selling quite a bit, 1.25 million copies, earning it its greatest hits label, of course. If you guys aren't aware, a game had to sell more than 1 million units to earn that greatest hits banner. And of course, with it being a success, we did later get Pac-Man World 2 and 3. And let's fast forward to 2022, and we did receive a Pac-Man World remake titled Pac-Man World Repack. And that remake really does this game justice. That is a great remake. It doesn't really innovate on anything, but it just makes everything look prettier, it makes everything pop, everything play a bit smoother. It's an awesome remake. And with this PlayStation 1 game, I've never owned it myself. I've never had it in my physical game collection before. I've never really collected PlayStation 1 games at all until this year, really, in 2025, which is crazy because this is the year where these games are skyrocketing in price and they're very expensive. But this is a very cheap game to buy. You could really find it anywhere from $10 to $20 complete. And I ended up spending around maybe $5 or $6 for this, which is an amazing deal. And it was very nice to see where Pac-Man World Repack came from and how the original actually looked on the PlayStation 1. Next game we have here is Disney's Pixar Monsters Inc. Scream Team. Monsters Inc. Scream Team was developed by Artificial Mind and Movement and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. There are two versions of this game, this being the PlayStation 1 version, and we also have the other version on PlayStation 2. It was released in 2001, and this is a video game adaptation of the Monsters Inc. movie by Disney and Pixar. This game is a platformer, of course. I don't know how you guys feel about the Monsters Inc. IP, but I love the movies. I even love Monsters University. Now, this game being made in 2001 means that this game came out right after the movie. I really love the first movie. And a lot of the games that came out back then, the adaptations of these Disney Pixar movies were actually really good. And when I was a kid, I freaking loved this game. This game, the Atlantis game on PlayStation 1, the Lion King game, all the games that they were making, the Hercules game, they were all amazing. And I really love this game. I had a demo disc with this and Atlantis on it, and I would play it nonstop, like 24 hours a day. I'd be on my PlayStation 1 playing demos all day. And Monsters Inc. Scream Team was always one of those games that I wanted to have in the collection physically, but for some reason or another, I just never really ended up buying it. But I'm really glad I bought it now. It was super cheap, guys. I got it for about $4. I'm pretty sure it goes for more than that, maybe 10 to 15, maybe $20. But still, that is an amazing price for this game, and I'm very happy that I have it in the collection now. Now that I have it, I might as well go ahead and look for the PlayStation 2 version. Maybe that game's good. I'm not sure which version is considered to be the best version of this game, but I'm pretty sure the PlayStation 2 version is the best version. But let me know in the comments if you guys have played this or not. If you play the PlayStation 2 version, which one's better. But yeah, guys, that's Monsters Inc. Scream Team for the PlayStation 1. The fourth game in the pile is Spyro Year of the Dragon. This is the third entry into the Spyro series. This is also the greatest hits version. Spyro Year of the Dragon is a 2000 platformer developed by Insomniac Games and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 1. This is the greatest hits version. Also, I bought the third installment of the series without buying the other two. This always happens to me. I always buy the third one instead of buying the others first. Spyro is known for being one of the best collectathon platformers out there. I haven't played the third one too much. My favorite Spyro game is Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. That's the one I had played the most, especially back on PlayStation 1. I had a disc-only copy of it that I randomly found at my grandma's house and started playing it. Took it home. She really didn't need it. She didn't have a PlayStation 1. That game was a blast, and I'm really looking forward to getting into Spyro 3. There is that remake, of course, or remaster of the three games. I would say it's a remake. The Spyro Reignited Trilogy, which does contain all three games. That would probably be the best way to experience these games, but it's really awesome to experience them how they were meant to be experienced back in the day on PlayStation 1. I am playing them on my PS3, but it basically runs them the same as a PlayStation 1 would. And it's insane to see where Insomniac Games comes from. It's crazy that they made this trilogy of platformer games and then they moved on to making the Spider-Man games. It's freaking insane, really. I'm not a huge lover of the Spider-Man games on PlayStation 4 and 5, but to see them go from this to Spider-Man is insane. I would even say that back then, during this era, the PlayStation 1 era, when they made these Spyro games, you could clearly tell that studio was very talented. Uh, but none of us really knew where Insomniac would end up, really, with Sony. It's a shame to see what has happened to the Spyro franchise. The Spyro Year of the Dragon for PlayStation 1 Greatest Hits Edition. Have you guys played any of the Spyro games? Make sure to let me know in the comments below. Next, we are moving on to PlayStation 2 titles. I did pick up 2 titles exactly. The first title here is Makai Kingdom Chronicles of the Sacred Tomb. Makai Kingdom was developed and published by Nippon Ichi Software, which also made the other PlayStation 2 title I purchased. This is a spin-off in the Disgaea series. This game was released in the year 2005, but you guys can purchase it on newer hardware with the Nintendo Switch and PC version, and this is a tactical RPG. I had no idea that this was part of the Disgaea series. I have tried out some of the older Disgaea games before and really enjoyed them. I'm not that big into tactical RPGs, but I really enjoy the Disgaea games for some reason. I've always enjoyed the art direction these games take and the overall design for the characters. I did play this on the PlayStation 2 emulator because I don't have a PlayStation 2 yet, guys. I'm hoping to get one in the future. I used to have one, but I got rid of it. So hopefully I will have a PlayStation 2 soon. Hopefully the fat version, because that is the version that I prefer of the PlayStation 2. I used to have it, like I said, but I got rid of it. I don't know why. Makai Kingdom is a very good game so far from what I've played. It's in line with the Disgaea games. And of course, that box art looks amazing. It really misled me into thinking it was its own game and not part of the Disgaea series. I ended up paying around $10 or $12 for this. A very cheap tactical RPG, definitely worth purchasing for the collection. The second of the 2 titles, La Pucelle Tactics. La Pucelle Tactics was developed by Nippon Ichi Software and published in North America by Mastiff. This game was released for the PlayStation 2 in the year of 2002, and it is a spin-off of the Rhapsody franchise. I believe I paid maybe $10 for it, which isn't too bad for an RPG on the PlayStation 2. For some reason, this game has not really increased in value considering it's an RPG. A lot of the RPGs on PlayStation 2 have skyrocketed in price. Also, the survival horror games, especially with this being a tactical role-playing game, you would think it would go for more than, I believe, $15 is what it's worth. Tactical role-playing games isn't really my thing. I've never really been into them. I don't know why, they just don't connect with me. But as soon as I saw that cover art for this game, for La Pucelle Tactics, I thought, oh my god, I have to buy this game. This is an amazing box art. It didn't really matter what genre the game was. An RPG for 12 bucks and has this insanely good looking cover art, I have to get it. And for most of the time that I was trying it out, I was very confused on what to do, but I was having a lot of fun. The gameplay looks way better here because I'm playing it on the emulator for PlayStation 2. I don't have a PlayStation 2 myself. But let me know, do you guys have this game in your collection? Going into the PlayStation 3 titles I picked up, and the first title here is Falling Skies, based on that television series on TNT. The game was developed by Little Orbit and is set during Season 3 and Season 4 of the TV show. It is a tactical strategy RPG game similar to games like XCOM. And the game was released September 30th of 2014. on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Steam, and Nintendo eShop. I purchased this at a super cheap price. I think I paid $3 or $4 for it. And the only reason I purchased this is because back in the day, back in 2011, I used to watch the show that this game is based on. And I just wanted to see how much of a disaster this game was graphically. And as you can see here in this cutscene, it looks terrible. For a 2014 game, that's really unacceptable. It's like XCOM, but the worst version of XCOM. It's a really bad game. But while this game isn't great, it's not really this game's fault. It's based on a show that is very mediocre. This was a cash grab, but I'm pretty sure this game did terribly. Why would anyone buy this instead of something like XCOM, especially in 2014 when we had the PlayStation 4 now? This didn't come out on PlayStation 4 or the new Xbox at the time. And I'm sorry, but that show was complete ass. And this is coming from a person that watched the show all the way up to, I believe, season 4. I try to love it, but the special effects, everything with that show was just terrible. The acting, the plot, you can't really blame this game. It's terrible, trust me. But can you really blame it if it's based on something that's already terrible? That's Falling Skies. Would not recommend this game, even at $3 or $4. Okay, at $3 or $4, I would recommend anything, but still, this game sucks. Now let's get into what I would call the worst Dead Space in the main line of the 3 games, and that's Dead Space 3. Dead Space 3 is a survival horror action game developed by Visceral Games and published by EA for PS3, Windows, and Xbox 360, released in the year of 2013. This is the third and final main entry in the Dead Space series, sadly. This sequel was initially planned as a horror-focused experience, but demands from EA, of course, resulted in the introduction of action elements, the de-emphasis of horror themes, and the introduction of microtransactions. This is a very cheap game to buy physically. I've seen it brand new for $10. That's a pretty damn good price. I paid around $6 or $7 to buy it used, and it was basically in brand new condition. Dead Space 3 is obviously my least favorite Dead Space game in the whole franchise. But I gotta be honest here, replaying it for this little bit of gameplay that I captured sort of reinvigorated my need to replay this game in 2025. I need to go back to it. Overall, it's not a great Dead Space game, especially with all the microtransactions and the action elements added into it. But as an action game, as a third-person action shooter, it's definitely very good. And maybe I'll replay all the Dead Space games in sequence and make some reviews for those on the channel. I'm definitely going to go back to this and maybe even try out some of those co-op elements that were added into this. I believe you can even play the story mode through the other guy's perspective. I would definitely recommend purchasing this physically. It's super cheap, like I said, guys. And it looks great graphically. It stands the test of time, I think. It was released in 2013, but it looks pretty damn good to this day. One of my favorite titles for PlayStation 3, and that is Enslaved Odyssey to the West. This game really shocked me back when I played it for the first time on PS3. Released back in 2010, Enslaved Odyssey to the West is an action-adventure game developed by Ninja Theory and published by Namco Bandai Games. This game is available on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Also, later on in 2013, there was a version made for Windows on Steam. This is a loose adaptation of the novel Journey to the West. The game is set 150 years in a future post-apocalyptic world following a global war. A sequel was planned but canceled due to the game's financial underperformance. And in case you guys didn't know, Andy Serkis portrayed Monkey in Enslaved Odyssey to the West. He's always portraying monkeys and gorillas, like in Peter Jackson's King Kong or in the Planet of the Apes movies. There was an expansion made available later on titled Pigsy's Perfect 10, along with the Steam version in 2013. And back when this came out in 2010, it was a crazy year. We had games like God of War 3, and this was definitely one of my favorite games that year, probably in my top 3 or top 2. This game came out during a time in the gaming industry when we still had a lot of interesting games, a lot of games that weren't afraid to try new things. I was not expecting this game to be that good, so I was pleasantly shocked. And while I love this game and I did play it on PS3 back when it released in 2010, the PlayStation 3 version is not the version you guys should play if you're thinking about buying this game. Super cheap game, really. It's around $15 to $20 if you want to buy it in good condition. I would not recommend buying the PlayStation 3 version. I only purchased it because I bought it for around $5 or $7. But the 360 version is really where it's at. It runs at a better frame rate. It looks better. The PlayStation 3 version is a bit choppy here and there. Also, the Steam version is probably the best way to go, running at 4K 60 frames. That's probably the best version to get if you're thinking of buying this game. And the final PlayStation 3 title is an EA game. That's Army of Two: The Devil's Cartel, the third entry in the series. So Army of Two: The Devil's Cartel was developed by Visceral Games and published by EA. If you don't know, Visceral Games also developed games like Dead Space, which is quite surprising that they then went on to develop this Army of Two game. This was only released for the PS3 and Xbox 360 in the year of 2013. This is a third-person shooter with a single-player campaign and also has multiplayer modes. But I don't know too much on that because I did not try out the multiplayer for this video. In case you guys don't know, this is the only way that you can really play this game. You can only play it on PS3 and 360. I did try to emulate it on our PCS3, the PlayStation 3 emulator. Most of the emulators with Xenia Canary as well, they don't run this game well. This is the only way to really play this. So I would really recommend buying this. I only paid around $8 for this game. This is considered by many to be the worst Army of Two game, having a 54 overall score on Metacritic. The other two Army of Two games have around a 70. The game takes place in Mexico and pits TWO against a drug cartel known as La Guadaña. It is the first game in the series to run on the Frostbite 2 game engine. The Devil's Cartel focuses around two new TWO operatives named Alpha and Bravo. So you don't play as the main characters of the first and second game. I'm guessing that's why this has an overall worse score. Many people probably wanted to play as the main characters of the other two games. I haven't played this game in a long time. I played it when it released in 2013. But overall, I thought it was a great game. Very in line with the other two games. I didn't really mind playing as these two new characters since the main characters from the two original games do appear in this game. I thought this was a very enjoyable third-person shooter experience. The only PlayStation 4 title I picked up because it was very cheap, Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I've actually never had this physically. Released in 2015, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is a first-person shooter developed by Treyarch and published by Activision. It is the 12th entry in the Call of Duty series and the sequel to 2012's Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which is my favorite Call of Duty. It was released for PlayStation 4, Windows, and Xbox One. There was a limited version developed by Beanox for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, which only included the multiplayer. Black Ops 3 is set in the year 2065, 40 years after the events of Black Ops 2, in a world shaped by the impacts of climate change and the rise of advanced technologies, including cybernetic enhancements. This game became the best-selling game of 2015, and as of December 2024, Black Ops 3 has sold over 43 million copies. That is freaking insane. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is the final Black Ops game that I actually got really into. After this, we would have Black Ops 4, which wouldn't feature a single-player campaign. Then Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which wasn't really made by Treyarch, so I don't consider that a Black Ops game. And of course, we had Black Ops 6, which I'm never gonna play. I hate the Call of Duty games now. And this was one of the last Call of Duties that I really loved. It had an awesome campaign, really interesting what happens in it. It had probably my favorite zombies maps, that iconic map that takes place on the moon. And I also really enjoyed the multiplayer for this game. Back in the day, these Call of Duty games had a triple threat mentality when it came to the game modes. We had the campaign, the zombies, and the multiplayer. They were always complete packages and really worth the $60 when you purchased them at launch. Nowadays, we have Call of Duty, and they're very unfinished most of the time. We have Warzone, which I just hate. I hate how Call of Duty is trying to be Fortnite so bad. As Call of Duty Black Ops 3, let me know if you guys have this in your collection. You probably do, since it sold 43 million copies. Totally worth it. Bought it for around $9. Not a bad price. The final game for this pickups video is a PlayStation 5 title, and is probably my favorite game of the bunch. The one I was really looking forward to coming in. And that is The Messenger by Devolver and Sabotage. An immaculate freaking game. It's amazing. Originally released in 2018, The Messenger is an action platformer game developed by Canadian developer Sabotage Studio and published by Devolver Digital. While this game was released back in 2018, this PlayStation 5 version was released earlier this year in 2025. And here I am unboxing it because, of course, I'm going to play it for this video. I will not leave this sealed. This game deserves to be played. It's one of the best games of all time. This game was also released for Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. The developers at Sabotage Studio took inspiration from games such as Ninja Gaiden and Chrono Trigger, and fundamentally altered the game many times. The Messenger sold over 50,000 copies within a week and received generally positive reviews from critics. Reviewers praised the dialogue, controls, music, and art, while they were divided on the pacing. It won the Best Debut Indie Game Award at the Game Awards 2018 and received several other award nominations and accolades. A downloadable content expansion called Picnic Panic was launched on July 11th, 2019, and a prequel titled Sea of Stars was released in 2023. The game initially presents itself as a linear level-based adventure split across two eras: the past, which is presented with 8-bit graphics and audio, and the future, which uses a 16-bit presentation. Later on, The Messenger becomes a Metroidvania-style game in which the player revisits both eras in any order and direction in order to find key items. Out of all the games I've showed you guys today, this is my favorite. This game is so damn good. I don't usually enjoy Metroidvania games, and this game completely shocked me. I would consider this to be in my top 10 games of all time. There's so much hard work put into this game, with not just the art style, but the music. And it really goes to show that you don't have to be the biggest AAA game in the video game industry to be this impactful when it comes to doing something with a narrative and just overall with its gameplay. This has some of the best writing I've ever seen in a video game. And another thing I want to let you guys know here is that I've never actually finished this game. I got about halfway, right up until it becomes a Metroidvania, and I stopped playing the game because one, I don't enjoy Metroidvanias, and two, I was really afraid to finish it because I was enjoying it so damn much. So that's why I bought it physically for PlayStation 5. It cost around $30 or so. Not bad considering the PlayStation 4 version is a very limited version and goes for around $150 to $250. It's so damn crazy how expensive these video games are getting. You need to play The Messenger. So yeah guys, that's it for this pickups video. I'm pretty sure you guys noticed all of these pickups were PlayStation titles. And if I end up making more pickups videos like these, then just expect I will be adding some more PlayStation 1 titles to the collection in the future. And for every PlayStation console, really, PlayStation 2, 3, 4, 5, I will be purchasing more games for my PlayStation consoles just because I grew up with the PlayStation consoles and I want to get some of those back in the collection, such as Puppeteer for PlayStation 3. I know that game is expensive now, but I want to get that back in the collection, along with some classics like The King of Fighters 99 for PlayStation 1, Toy Story 3 of course for PS3, love that game. Just so you guys know, I will be uploading more videos like these with pickups for my video game collection. Make sure you like and subscribe and all of that fun jazz. Tune in next time for my next pickups video or any of my videos here on the channel. If you guys enjoy anything, support your boy. Just let me know, what are you guys collecting for? What systems are you guys mainly collecting for? Did any of the games in this video interest you? If so, let me know in the comments below. Take care out there. Thank you for tuning into this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. This is Sal from Let's Talk Video Games signing out, guys. Peace.